My name is Andrews. Welcome back to my Valheim building world. Today I'm going to turn this small little island into a lighthouse. If you look on the map, you can see where I am building today. You can also see the bridge that I did last week, and the village, the Norse house, and the teleportation tower. And up north you can see where I put the castle for it. For the lighthouse, I'm going to flatten out a rectangular area. And because I'm making a fire on a tower, I also need to do another iron stone build like I did last week. I just removed all the rocks around the island that were in the way, as well as the one log. I flattened out a good amount of the island with the special flattening technique, so that it is as flat as an insecure woman's chest. Here you can see just how flat it actually is. I put in where the tower is gonna go, along with some iron supports that go inside the stone in the middle. I also made it an octagon, with each side being exactly the same length, which is how it's supposed to be. I also use a special technique where I raise the ground in the middle of the tower, so the tower can go up taller than it normally could be able to go beforehand. I built up the tower up to the first floor. I also used the black marble triangles for the floor because the inside of the tower isn't square, while the outside of the tower is, so using the stone blocks wouldn't have looked nearly as good. And the triangles, they can be able to poke through the stone and not poke through the other side. And the stone blocks wouldn't have lined up properly either, so it wouldn't look very good. I just finished up building the tower's height. I also used the normal stone floor up here instead of the granite. It's actually black marble. Also, I think that this tower is taller than the teleportation tower, but I'm not exactly certain.
1 hour later.
I put in a staircase in the middle of the tower, and I have also built an upper floor with a balcony, and the balcony leads to the top of the tower. On the top of the tower, I put crystal in for glass, and I also put an iron gate so you can add wood to the fire. And this is how the outside of the tower looks. I've installed the roof. I was going to have it hang over the edge of the tower, but then you wouldn't have been able to see the tower's light, so I decided not to do that. I also had some trouble getting the peak of the roof in, because there was nothing to be able to snap the roof to. I was eventually able to get a 22.5 pitch roof in the center, that I was able to get a 45 pitch to be able to snap to that 22.5 pitch. I also added in some blazers, because the fire wasn't giving off enough light at night. I put in a stone foundation, and I made it this tall because when it is stormy in the game, water can go over what you've already built, and I didn't want water to be on the ground when it's inside of this person's house. I also put a small door over here to be able to access the crawl space, but it isn't really much of a crawl space, so I guess you could call it a basement. I've put in all the framing for the home. I also put in a stone set of stairs, and I continued the brick laying pattern underneath the stairs as well. I've completed the roofing on the house with both a 45-degree pitch for the main part of the house and a 22.5-degree pitch for above the porch of the house. It's definitely not intentional for the house to look just like the strongest shape. Now it's time for me to work on the walls and the windows. I've installed the walls, windows, and doors of the house. The front 3 windows use the game's intended windows, the shutters, while the back 2 windows use the small doors, which I like to use as windows instead of doors. And if you can notice, some of the walls are half a meter apart because of the framing of the house and the roof. On the outside, I have added in lattices on all of the foundation, but next to the stairs, I didn't add them in because it blocked the path of the stairs, and I believe in function over form, the way it's supposed to be. I also didn't put in the lattices by the basement door because it blocked the ability to go inside of the door.
1 hour later.
I've completed all the details to the build. I've completed the build. I put a water heater, a hot tub outside, along with a desk and tables, or chair and tables, chair and a table. I put a fermenter in here. I put all the cooking stuff in here. I put in one meal because the lighthouse person, he's a lonely person, all alone in the lighthouse by himself forever. I put his weapons over here. He has some pretty good weapons. He's got some good armor as well. I also put a troll trophy on the top over here, and the black and red banners, the colors for his clan. pretty large clan on the Forest Island chain. I also have the teleportation tower over here in this corner to go back to the teleportation spot. I have some stairs up here that leads up to the up to where his job is. And up here I put some chests for him to put some storage for his wood so that he can have wood pretty close up by his job spot. I also put a chair and a bench over here and a chest here so that he could have wood immediately right here. So he could, like, if it's storming out, just sit up here and keep on adding wood. But I don't know if you would have to do that because of how much the wood lasts. I also put lattices on the bottom part of the tower, and it goes up in a spiral way. If you think about it, it's totally not like representing hair and veins. Just don't think about it. I also forgot to put in a vent here, so I put in another vent here. I also put in a bridge because I was thinking, like, how is he gonna leave this little island? Is he just gonna swim every single time? Like, no, he's not gonna swim. He's gonna walk across the bridge. And I made it not a super... It's a basic bridge, but it's not, like, basic in design. It has a little bit of design, but it's not as bridge-like as the previous bridge from last week. He also has this cart here so that he can run across the bridge with his cart. Be able to do all of his shopping needs across this bridge. And I made sure that the bridge is just wide enough to be able for the cart to go through. I also have these banners over here just to signify and show what clan he's all about and what he is. I also filled in grass around where I think grass would be in this place, while leaving dirt where I think the dirt should be left at. I also changed the environment to a thunderstorm and the time to night just to show you why a lighthouse would be so important at this place, because you don't want to be hitting this island at all. I don't know if you guys noticed, but for most of this video I had to re-record all my audio because it did not save when I initially recorded. So thank you guys for bearing with me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It'd be fantastic if you gave me a sub sandwich. I'll see you guys later, and goodbye.